We're back again with a brand new video. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, and of course subscribe so you don't miss out on updates. Now let's talk about what's going on, because Cardi B fans are stirring up a whole conversation online. They're saying Cardi B is stealing the spotlight from Doja Cat rollout, almost like she's sabotaging her momentum. One fan even posted, "Yo, Cardi really overshadowing her rollout. Like, I can't even be the only one noticing this." But that's not all. Some people are claiming that Doja Cat only makes a move whenever Cardi does. And here's where things get interesting. Doja's set to drop her album on September 26th, just 1 week after Cardi B. On top of that, she recently teased another track called Gorgeous with a visual preview. And fans think this is her way of throwing shade at Cardi, especially since she just released Jealous Type. Another fan bluntly wrote, "These rap do not move until Cardi does. We see you." So, from the looks of it, there's this low-key fan war going on, Cardi B's supporters versus Doja's supporters. But honestly, isn't Doja putting out more of a pop album? Why even compare her moves to Cardi's? At the end of the day, Cardi's always under pressure from competition. But let's be real, she's still got the star power to hit #1. Personally, I'd be shocked if she doesn't pull at least 80K in pure sales, maybe even closer to 90,000. Cardi's numbers are strong enough to dominate, no matter what's happening around her. Look, I've been saying this from the start. At the very least, Cardi's numbers are safe. Titanic Records isn't going to let her project flop. That's just not how they move. But here's why I think some of Cardi B's fans are feeling uneasy right now. It comes down to her last 2 singles not performing the way people expected. And with Thug and Doja Cat both releasing new music, the pressure on Cardi feels heavier than ever. Fans are starting to panic, and honestly, I get why. Right now, it feels like Cardi's getting overshadowed. Think about it. Nobody's really discussing her most recent tracks anymore. Instead, the conversations online are about her Instagram skits and the way she's trying to market her album. The music itself seems to have faded into the background. She dropped 1 single back in June and another just last month, and yet the buzz around them is almost non-existent. Still, people continue to put Cardi on a pedestal, labeling her as that girl among female rappers. But when you line it up with the actual numbers, the hype doesn't fully match the reality. And let's be honest here. If she didn't have 17,000 vinyl copies up for sale on her website, her sales would look very different. Because right now, it doesn't feel like the hype is there the way it used to be. At least not in my opinion. All right, let's switch gears for a moment. Doja Cat seems to be following what people are calling the Queen Bee formula. She recently announced that she'll be bringing her Club V experience to several major cities overseas. Amsterdam, Paris, Berlin, Dublin, Lisbon. Now, maybe it's a coincidence, but didn't Beyoncé already set this trend back in 2022 with her Club Renaissance? Let's be real here, it looks a lot like Doja is taking notes from the Queen herself. Back when she dropped Planet Her, there was no sign of any club concept. Suddenly, after Renaissance's huge success, Doja's pulling out this strategy. It looks like Cardi B might be tipping her hat to NickiMinaj with her latest moves. She dropped another vinyl cover that's giving serious old-school Nicki vibes. Similar hairstyle, similar outfit. And it's clear she was either inspired by Nicki, or at least watching closely. Some Cardi B fans are saying she executed it better, but honestly, I'm not convinced. To me, it feels less like a tribute and more like Cardi is trying to bait Nicki. She's probably hoping to get a reaction, some kind of response that will boost her own publicity. Remember when Nicki went off on someone, I think it was Scissor or Doja Cat, and Cardi tried to sneak herself into that drama? Cardi basically told her to go to the park, go shopping, get off social media, just to stir things up. Nicki didn't bite, and that's exactly the kind of attention Cardi seems to be chasing. The reality is, Cardi knows her reach is limited without Nicki's attention. That's part of why her last 2 singles didn't hit hard. If Nicki had even acknowledged Imaginary Players, it might have gone straight to #1. So right now, it feels like Cardi is actively looking for ways to get under Nicki's skin. But with Nicki on hiatus, she's left waiting for a reaction that may never come. So let's talk about IceSpice and Scratch. Their recent collab? Honestly, it completely flopped on the charts. Barely anyone is talking about it. But here's the twist. They apparently have another song tucked away that could end up on IceSpice's upcoming album. Now she's already working on a new project after Y2K didn't perform the way people expected. The real question is, would fans even care about another collab between these two? Personally, I'm not so sure. IceSpice and Scratch just don't come across as that power duo people hoped for. They didn't shake up the culture, and they definitely didn't create a reset moment the way others have. I wasn't expecting them to reach #1 or go diamond like some major collabs, but I did expect at least a little more buzz. Instead, the song just dropped and disappeared without leaving any impact. And part of that is because the so-called beef they tried to play into didn't catch on. People just didn't care as much as they thought they would. Let's be real. The only kind of collaboration in female rap that could truly set the internet on fire right now would be a Cardi B and NickiMinaj joint. Maybe even Doja Cat teaming up with Nicki. Outside of that, everything else feels irrelevant. And here's another layer. Both IceSpice and Scratch were struggling. All right, let's move on to something that's stirring up headlines this week. Queen Bee and Camel Face are both set to go head-to-head at the 2025 Primetime Emmys. Now, Camel Face snagged a nomination connected to the Super Bowl halftime show, since Roc Nation was behind the production. Reports say he played a role in selecting the performer and helping produce the event, which is why he ended up on the list of nominees. Kendrick Lamar has already secured an Emmy for that halftime show, but honestly, does Camel Face really deserve one just for choosing who's performing? In my opinion, that's not enough to warrant an award. Meanwhile, Queen Bee, who already has an Emmy under her belt, is once again racking up recognition. She scored multiple nominations this year, including the same category as Camel Face, for Outstanding Variety Special thanks to her NFL Christmas Day performance on Netflix. So far, she's already taken home 1 trophy, and she's still in the running for 4 more. So here's the latest update making the rounds. It's been confirmed that SabrinaCarpenter and Karol G will headline Coachella in 2026. And rumor has it, Justin Bieber is lined up as the 3rd headliner. Now let's pause for a second. Where's Kendrick Lamar? Wasn't he supposed to headline this event? And honestly, who exactly asked for Justin Bieber in this lineup? His career isn't hitting like it used to, and people are already side-eyeing this choice. Fans are pointing out that he's not the same performer he once was. His stage presence feels off. His energy isn't there, and the fear is he'll walk out looking half asleep, mumble through a couple of notes, and call it a show. That's not headliner material. The only reason this even makes sense is money. Kendrick just came off a massive stadium tour, and to book him, they'd probably need to drop somewhere between $15 to $20 million. Bieber, on the other hand, doesn't come with that kind of price tag. But the reality is right now he's flopping hard. And if we're being real, his last tour didn't even make it to the finish line. He canceled dates, leaving fans disappointed. It's frustrating because Coachella is supposed to feel like a cultural moment. But instead of delivering that, they're putting Justin Bieber, who fans say is lazy on stage and uninspired in his artistry, in the spotlight. That's why a lot of people feel this decision is a big misstep.